Hi, welcome to Lesson 15. This is your last lesson with this class, and you should be working on your final project, so it's a little bittersweet. This lesson, you talk about different processes with dealing with other images like JPEGs, those raster images, which we talked about at the beginning of the semester. And within Illustrator, also talk about working with Illustrator and other applications. So what's great about Adobe Illustrator, or the Adobe Creative Cloud, is everything talks to each other, and it's amazing. So I can put my Illustrator files in Premiere, I can put them in After Effects, I can put them in InDesign, I can put them in Lightroom. Usually you wouldn't put them in Lightroom, I could put them in Photoshop, and then I can take them in Bridge. And the book talks a little bit about Bridge. If you haven't used Bridge, it's kind of like Finder but better. I can click on an image. It gives me all the information, the resolution, bit depth, etc. All this information that I would need to know. It gives me an Illustrator. If I was the photographer, it would have all this other information. I got breadcrumbs that lead me back to other files. I can rate them. Definitely play around with Illustrator on your own time. It's got a lot of great parts to it. So we're just going to close out of Illustrator. And we're going to go back into Illustrator. And this is kind of our goal. We're kind of working on this poster, which might be inspiration for you and your advertisement. I think this could be a decent advertisement. So yeah, so we're going to go to our start file. And the book talks about bitmap, graphics, raster, replacing image files. We've already talked about raster and vector graphics in the very, very, very beginning of the semester. So yeah, so we're on page 427 and we're doing a file place, which we are familiar with. We're going to rename our end file to be market poster. So let's do that first. Rename our file. All right, so once it does that, we're going to go to make sure we're on the right layer. So let's open our layers panel. And we'll make sure we are, we're going to go to the woman layer, which just has this circle. And we're going to do file place. And we've done this before, or you might have. And we're going to go to the images folder, and we are going to find the carrots.jpg. And we're going to go to place. And notice actually, ignore that, what I just did. I didn't do it right, I was jumping. File place, carrots. And then there's some information down here. We want to make sure a link is selected because we're linking it to the original file. And everything else is deselected, which I had. So your cursor's loaded up, as you can see with a thumbnail. 1 out of 1, there's one image that we need to do. So we're going to place it. And this is kind of a bounding box that we have here with those lines letting us know that it's a JPEG and the image is 100%. It's 120 ppi, which is a very low resolution. Keep that in mind. And I've got information up here, embed, edit original, image trace, etc. So we're on page 428 and we're going to transform a placed image. So we're just going to click and drag it over the circle over here. And what we're going to do is kind of resize it by doing an Alt-Shift, both of those modifier keys in the corner. We want to make sure our smart guides are on. And we want that size to be 4.5 for width, about. The resolution's approximately increased because we decreased the size, so it's kind of shifted those pixels around. So what we're going to do is we are going to go in the corner and just make sure it's tilted about 13 degrees, so we're going up and left. And sometimes you may need to zoom in because it's wanting to snap to those guides. There we go, perfect. And if you didn't like that, you can always do, try to adjust it in the transform for object, transform, rotate. We're going to do a Command S, and we're going to make sure we're deselected. We're going to go to our layers panel, and we're going to hide the woman layer for now and jump over to the background layer. Click the background, and we're going to do a file place. And now we're going to find the market.psd. A PSD is a Photoshop file. And we are going to make sure link is deselected, but show import options are selected. Now, a PSD, if you're unfamiliar, is like the AI file. It holds layers and all these editing capabilities. So when we do place, a dialog box is going to open. So there's layer comp. So layer comp is a snapshot of all the layers that we create in Photoshop. So we have layers in there, and we want it to be all the layers. We want preview selected. The next we're going to do is convert layers to objects. So we don't want it to flatten. We want all these different layers so we can make some adjustments to them. And we'll do import hidden layers, keep that selected as well. Because sometimes you hide layers, like we have them hidden over here. You can do that in Adobe Photoshop. I'm going to click OK. And remember, our cursor is loaded, all up. We're going to position the loaded graphics cursor in the upper left corner of the red bleed lines, off to a little bit over. And there it places our image there. So it fits width-wise. It doesn't fit height-wise. So we're going to toggle open our background layer and toggle open this market. And you have this blue layer, and then you have the photo layer. So what we're going to do is, since we didn't flatten it, brings in all these layers. So this one right here, this blue, is a color fill, and we're going to hide it. And we're going to select the layer underneath. And we're going to take our selection tool, select this market, and we're going to drag it to the bottom of the edge so it kind of fills the image. Typically you will never do this because it stretches pixels. Stretching pixels is a big no-no. It decreases the quality and gives you a blurry image. So that is why I do not like this process of stretching the pixels. It would have been better to have an image that fit the correct size already. Also, we're importing very low quality images, which it doesn't seem that bad now, but if I were to print this out, it wouldn't look too great of an image, and that's not what we want. And we do not have infinite scalability. We can't scale this up because we're dealing with pixel-based processes within a vector program, so keep that in mind. So on page 432, actually let's pause this video, we'll get to that in the next part. So that was the first part of the video, and I'll see you soon.